Hello and welcome to our daily show, The Big Story, where we talk about the hottest topics of the day right here from the heart of the newsroom. My name is Alyssa Wu and we are coming to you live from the Straits Times. We are streaming on Facebook and YouTube, and if you're on YouTube, do click that bell button to be notified whenever we go live. I'll be joined very shortly by my colleagues to discuss the topics that got you talking today. Now, face swapping and other Instagram filters are quite a fun way to pass the time, but the same technology behind them can also be used for more sinister reasons. Take, for example, the widely circulated video of Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg, which has since been certified as a deepfake video. I have here with me my colleague Haris, tech journalist at the Straits Times, to talk about what a deepfake is and how we can spot one. Hi, Haris.
Hi.
Hello. So first of all, what is a deepfake and why is it called a deepfake?
Okay, so a deepfake video is, as the name implies, it's a fake video. It's a piece of fake news. So how it works is that algorithms in these deepfake videos look for instances where the expressions in the source video can match to certain expressions that maybe an algorithm cooks up or from another video, and then it swaps and matches it together. So it uses this piece of machine learning, which is called a generative adversarial network.
It's a mouthful.
Yes, it is. So essentially, but what it means is that it swaps faces and expressions and movements, essentially. So this technology, this problem has been around for quite some time, but I think that in 2017, there was a user on Reddit whose handle was called Deepfake, and he posted explicit videos of celebrities whose faces replaced those of pornographic actors.
I thought there was a deeper reason as to why it's called a deepfake, but not really. So fake porn videos aside, what is the real threat of deepfake videos to our society? Okay,
so I think that the biggest threat that deepfake poses, essentially, it's a piece of fake news. So it distorts the truth. Because of deepfake, you will not be able to, rely on your senses. What you see is not necessarily what you get. You can't trust your eyes and ears anymore. So it can be problematic because bad actors could use that to essentially distort the truth. I mean, the celebrity example that I shared earlier is just one, but it could also extend to everyday people, politicians, world leaders, and because the technology is pretty much available out there already, like you can actually just Google for someone to do it for you. It's quite dangerous. So I think recently a high-profile case of a deepfake video was this of Nancy Pelosi. She's the United States House of Representatives Speaker. So a video depicting her with slurred speech and acting drunk was uploaded online, and it went viral very quickly. People were saying, how can one of the most powerful women in the United States, be behaving like this in work? But I mean, it was a fake video. Someone was just doing that to, to essentially show that she was not doing her work properly, So I think that's the danger of deepfake. Essentially, it makes what is untrue seem true. Yeah.
So I'm sure our government and many governments worldwide are on the alert for deepfake videos. Is there any artificial intelligence that can detect a deepfake video and can be our first line of defense of sorts?
So technology is out there. So there are forensic tools that can spot maybe deepfake signs, things like maybe the way the video is edited, or some telltale signs can give it away. But currently, from what I understand, there is no end-to-end solution that you can just put a video through and say this is fake. So it's very tricky, and it's also a cat and mouse game, because as maybe governments or different cybersecurity companies develop solutions to sort of counter this deepfake problem, the people who actually are engineering technology to make these videos would create new methods to get past that.
To get smarter and smarter.
Correct. So it's a cat and mouse game. It's very hard to say that there's going to be one solution that can really solve this one shot. Yeah.
So it certainly means we have to remain vigilant in this era of fake news, right? So thank you so much, Haris, for sharing.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Now on to our next story. In a recent Sentosa Development Corporation survey done with 600 Singaporeans and permanent residents, more than 52% felt stuck in their daily routine and 74% wished they could spend more time with families and loved ones. But interestingly, half of them said that they were stressed by the thought of having nothing to do, while 3 in 10 said they didn't know how to relax. To discuss about these results, I have here with me Joanna Sell, the Straits Times Manpower correspondent. Hi, Joanna.
Hi.
Can you elaborate more on the survey results?
Sure. So I guess they show that some of us really find it difficult to take a break or switch off and relax. Did that surprise you?
Yeah, the part where they said they didn't know how to relax, because I can think of many ways to relax.
Well, I would probably be one of these people because I find it quite hard to relax. And even on my way to work today, when I could have been slacking off, I was checking my email, my work email. So the findings also tie in with other reports about stress and burnout and work-life balance over the years. For instance, in another survey, 62% of Singaporeans said they weren't getting enough sleep. There have been more teens seeking help at IMH for school-related stress. And ST and TAFEP did a survey recently which found that from 2014 to 2018, more workers were actually consider leaving their jobs, leaving their companies if they weren't given work-life options. So it's against this backdrop that this whole idea of work-life harmony has come to the fore. And there's going to be a new citizens panel set up to look for ideas on how to improve it.
So you brought up work-life harmony, and we all already know what work-life balance is, but there's a difference between the two. Can you elaborate on that as well?
Yeah, so when you say balance, it kind of implies that you want work and life to be separate parts and that you want them to be equal. But harmony implies that there's a more fluid mix between the two. So for instance, for some people, work may be so enjoyable that it melts into the leisure part of their life. Whereas for others, maybe you want to spend a lot more time on volunteering than going to work. But the fact is that people mostly do know that having a good mix of work and life is good for them, like what the survey showed. So it's good for your mental well-being, and experts also say that being well rested is good for your productivity at work. So, but maybe even though we do know that it's good to have a mix, some of us are not that great at switching off and taking a break, mentally and emotionally disconnecting from work. And bearing in mind that work could be in the office, or it could be outdoors, or it could even be at home for stay-at-home parents. It's not that easy to just take a break. So that's what struck me most about the results.
So why was this survey commissioned? Like, why do they want to find out what people want to do in their free time?
Well, I guess Sentosa Development Corporation wanted to look at how people in Singapore view leisure, and I guess that makes sense because they are a leisure destination. So they did say that they want to see how they can help Singaporeans to take a break more, given that they have the facilities to facilitate that. And I think they also said that it applies to tourists too, because in other societies which are advancing rapidly, there could be a lot of pressure and people could feel stressed as well. So they also do want to look at how they can encourage tourists to use Sentosa to take a break.
Of course, there are many other ways to relax other than going to Sentosa, but if it helps you relax, why not, right? So work-life harmony, it can be achievable, right, if bosses and employees are on the same page about rest and work expectations. But certainly the individual has to be responsible and conscious of how they use their own time, right?
Yeah, well, bosses can play a role by being empathetic and toning down their demands on work being done after hours or in the weekends. So like set deadlines on Thursdays and Fridays instead of on a Monday, so your people don't have to work over the weekend. And then don't text people after office hours. Because even if you don't expect a reply, people might feel pressured and have this thought lurking at the back of their mind that they have something to do. And I know some companies who have like a radio silence policy, so people are not supposed to text, not supposed to WhatsApp, not supposed to email about work after office hours or on weekends. So I think that's a good place to start. But yeah, as you said, individuals can help themselves by making choices about how they spend their time and what to prioritize, whether it's work or family or health. And of course, the priorities can change over time as well.
Now you have something interesting from what a professor said from NUS. Can you share more about it?
Yeah, so yesterday in discussing the findings, Associate Professor Tan Eun-seo from NUS, what he said was that maybe we should be satisfied with being good enough at whatever we're doing. So a good enough parent, a good enough worker, rather than striving to be so super at everything. So even though we may not be the best or the most, most successful super parent or super master violin player, we can still be excellent overall and not in some silos of our life. So we can be successful, well-rounded individuals leading meaningful and enjoyable lives.
Thank you so much, Joanna, for sharing and for that advice as well. Perhaps this weekend would be a good time for some of us to put this into practice, myself included. Those were our top stories for the day. For more news and videos, do log on to straitstimes.com. Once again, I'm Alyssa. Have a good weekend, and we'll see you again on Monday for more big stories.